All right, it is 3 o'clock. Just want to give everybody an update on what's going on out there right now. And many folks are at home today because it is a holiday, so you know what's going on, at least out your window. And it's very different from one part of Virginia to the next. Some areas are seeing absolutely nothing at all. Other areas are seeing a little bit of light rain. In other areas, like right here in Richmond, at this moment, at least at WTVR, we are seeing heavy snow falling at this time. It's fascinating how when you talk about snow, there's nothing in the world of meteorology that gets people more fired up and more polarized. You can talk about hurricanes and tornadoes, and people have general conversation about it, but people get emotional, and it is one end or the other when you talk about snow. It's either we love it or we absolutely hate it. And I'll tell you this, one thing I don't think that anybody can debate is that it does make for some pretty fantastic landscape. So we've got kind of a winter wonderland showing up now here in the Backyard Weather Center at work. I'll show you what it looks like here. Flip this around. There we go. That snow is falling. There's my man Terrence. He's keeping me on point back here for some of the weather cut-ins. You guys don't see any of this when I'm on the air. You actually see a vantage point that is from over here. So this is generally what you're going to see, something like this, where I'm standing over there on the sidewalk. But in reality, I've got this to look at. The camera's behind that window. There's one of my monitors I look at. Here's another one of my monitors to look at. And then I got one over there, and there's my green screen. Of course, we have tents up here right now to keep the equipment dry. But this is a little bit of a behind-the-scenes look at what the Backyard Weather Center looks like. But snow's starting to accumulate pretty well here. Again, this is the hardest it's going to snow right now. I'd say over about the next half hour, this is the hardest it's going to come down. And so on elevated structures, we've got about a ½ inch. I think we're probably going to end up with about an inch here. And that is not the case farther south. You get farther south, they really don't have anything down there. So I know it's disappointing, but at the same time, while you're disappointed, there's somebody else that absolutely loves the fact they're not getting snow. So it's just one of those things where you definitely get opinions on both sides of the issue. So that's kind of how it looks right now. Again, it's an all-out dumping snow at this point. So kind of fun. Definitely gives this some interest. All right, so let's go back in here. I want to show you what's going on radar. This is my little makeshift office back here. There's a look through our Millionaire cam, and you can see a little bit of whitening up of the grass there. There's not going to be any issues flying in and out of RIC. Temperatures are marginal, and they have a very, very good protocol in place for wintry weather. Okay, so out in the northern neck, around Reedville and Kilmarnock, you got light snow there. Lotsburg, Tappahannock in the Middle Peninsula down to Jamaica. A band of some heavy stuff West Point to Saluda. I can't say for sure that is all snow. It could be a little bit of sleet mixing in, but I got folks out there in West Point. They can always chime in and let me know what's exactly happening there. And again, we're looking at the intensity of precipitation here, not the type. And then you got this heavy band of what is snow here in the Richmond area. I'll move this over a bit, and so you can see folks up in Bowling Green, light snow, Beaver Dam, Doswell, Ashland, Hanover area. And again, this is one heavy round of snow coming in. Snow out in the west end, more snow around Powhatan. And then there's the cutoff. So it's a pretty sharp line between the haves and have-nots here. Nothing in Dinwiddie, nothing Stony Creek, nothing in Petersburg at this point. Really nothing in Williamsburg. So again, it's a very sharp line, which we knew it was going to be. And you can see it right there. So the radar is painting all of this as snow. And this is not perfect, but it's an algorithm that the radar uses. And you can see how everything is moving from southwest to northeast. The whole line is lifting to the north. And again, that's all heavy snow falling here in the Richmond area at this time. Seeing some mixing showing up now back into Charlotte County and Halifax County. And again, the whole line's lifting to the north. So our window for getting this snow is closing. We're still going to get it for a little while longer, but it is closing. There's the winter weather advisory, all areas in blue. And that just means that the weather conditions are going to pose some hazard to travel at times either on the road or sidewalks and such. If you're walking or driving, it doesn't matter. There could be some slick travel. VDOT did a great job of getting out and pre-treating roads. So the main roads are in good shape, but some areas will be slick. Just be careful if you're going to be out. Temperatures are marginal. We got 32 at Kilmarnock and West Point, as well as Richmond, 31 Tappahannock, 32 over in Ashland, 28 in Louisa. It's below freezing by several degrees back to our north and west. Okay, let's look at it hour by hour. This is a snapshot at 5 o'clock. Hopefully you guys will be watching the big game here on CBS at that point. And I'll tell you right now, I am not going to interrupt the football game. I'm not crazy. I can be real crazy, but I'm not going to be that crazy. I want to watch that game just as much as all you guys do. So I'm going to bring weather updates to you, but it's not going to interfere with the game. And you can see it could still be a little light snow in here at that point at 5 o'clock. And then as we get into the evening, that band starts to try to move north and west just a little bit. But again, it's going to be a very sharp line between those that are getting still a good amount of snow and those that aren't getting anything at all. And then everything by around 10 o'clock starts to shift out. Then, which is just kind of maddening in these situations, is the atmosphere is going to warm up a little bit off the ground. So while the surface temperatures stay pretty close to freezing, we may actually have some freezing drizzle early in the morning before things all end as we get into tomorrow. All right, so here's a look at the snow map here. Nothing down to their areas here in green, although I should pull this down a little bit for you folks in West Point to Kilmarnock. You're going to get a little bit. You may get up to an inch in those areas, and up to around an inch. Northwest sides of Richmond are going to fall a little bit above the inch, probably in that 1 to 3 band. And then the heavier stuff is going to be farther north, where the air is just going to stay colder for longer. And the real heavy stuff is going to be out in West Virginia. All right, so what's the weather looking like for tomorrow? Pearl wants to know. It is going to be cold. We're going to have a little bit of freezing drizzle in the morning. Otherwise, it's just going to be cold. Everything will end fairly early in the day. Happy to answer all of your questions, of course. So if you guys want to post them on Facebook on this post, then I'm happy to answer any of those questions right now. And again, the heaviest snow that we've seen all day is coming through the Richmond area. We'll still get a little bit longer of the snow, but it should gradually taper off as the evening wears on. And I will continue to do updates just about every half hour on CBS 6 and more updates on Facebook as well. But I will not mess with the football game. All right. You guys have a great afternoon. Just sit back and enjoy the snow. Don't get out in it if you don't have to. And if you hate it, you know what? This too shall pass. All right. I'll have another update later on. Stay with CBS 6, the Weather Authority.